Hi, welcome to my eclectic channel. My name is Agnès and I make videos for fun. I love fashion and I recently came across this video that I'm linking below. Nara is a professional stylist and one thing she recommends is to take pictures of one's outfit daily in order to gauge what is working and what isn't working. For different reasons, I have been doing that for over a year and a half. And her video inspired me to look back and look at what worked and what didn't. What Nara says about improvement is true. In going through the exercise, I did find myself extracting more successful outfits from the later part of that year and a half rather than the earlier parts. I'm still putting together a monstrosity once in a while, and I consider that a necessary part of the process. If you want to improve, you got to try things out, and not every experiment succeeds. Another thing I've learned, which is useful for me as someone who does YouTube videos, is that I learned about lighting and framing. So I've seen some improvement on that end as well. In my first selection, I came up with 131 best outfits and 31 worst. I was able to pare it down to 125 best and 29 worst. So this is going to be a two-part video, and it will be organized. I promise you some kind of logic. As a bit of background, I'm 5'1" and I wear something like a size 0. My style is quite feminine, but I do have a category for casual outfits. You need these in life. And those will be featured in the second video. This first video is not focused on weather or occasion, but rather on general tips to come up with outfits that look flattering. You may have heard this one, like the 1/3, 2/3 rule. The name of the game here is to find a good place on your body to place a horizontal line. For instance, if you're wearing a belt, or if you're wearing a contrasting top and bottom, where should you place that line? There are rules and countless videos out there to tell you if you're long legs, short torso, long torso, all kinds of things. Well, these are good starting points. I found that the best approach really is trial and error, and this is where the daily pictures come in. Here are some examples where I hit the proportions exactly right. What I've learned is that I have to place that line a bit below my natural waist. So what I do when I belt, my belt goes at my natural waist, but what I'll do is I will match the belt to the top collar rather than the bottom collar. Just that one little trick makes the whole balance work out. I'm going to end with two examples where I experimented. To tuck or not to tuck. The first one is actually adding a layer, and you can see that that sweater is a little long. It works better without it. And then for the second one, I tried to tuck my sweater versus not tuck it. And it works better when I do tuck, though the outfit is not terrible when I leave the sweater out. And that's because that last example is not truly contrasting. You notice that the skirt and the sweater are both dark. And so in that case, it really doesn't matter. We don't have a horizontal line, truly. This brings us to another basic idea that can make outfits work, and that is to go monochromatic. And we'll get to that, but first let me show you some counter examples. Examples where I put a horizontal line, sometimes more than one, in the wrong places. Here are some outfits with striking horizontal lines, entire bands. They cut the vertical lines. Definitely not what you want to do when you're only 5'1". That blue chambray dress with a little white ruffle at the bottom is actually one of my favorites for the summer. I made it myself. And it is super cute, works really well, very comfortable, but not like this. I was experimenting with it, as always, transitioned into fall, tried darker stocking with it, and now we have a dark top, dark stockings and in between this white band that cuts my legs off. Here are some examples that are not as disastrous, but where the separation between top and bottom is too low. Can you find where the horizontal line is on this one and what's wrong with it? The top and the skirt are nearly monochromatic, so we're all like going, 1P is vertical, great, until you get to the black boots. This outfit is really my style, ultra feminine. I love everything about this outfit. Look at all the lace and the pink. This is all my cup of tea, and that's probably how I ended up putting those two things together. The dress on its own is a great dress. The top, worn a different way, is okay, but together, no. Here's an awful one. No comments. I was lounging around the house. And here's one more example of a top that's too long. And this is a great segue into blazers. For petites, long blazers, oversized blazers are difficult. I would argue that oversized blazers are just a no-no. I personally cannot pull that off. Long blazers are possible, so there's a difference. Oversized, well, just too big everywhere. Long is it still fits, like especially the shoulders are going to fit. The sleeves are not huge. The sides are not like really big, so it fits. It's just long, and for a petite, that's hard, but not impossible. The key with the long blazers is that you want your bottom to be just a tad bit longer than your blazer. So the problem with this outfit that I have on is that my skirt is too long. It should not be paired with a blazer that long. Showing legs is an easy petite trick that I rely on when I'm in a hurry. On to monochromatic looks. You've heard of those. The good thing about monochromatic looks is that now you're not worried about placing horizontal lines. I always have monochromatic in my mind when I put together outfits, and here are a few examples where it did work. This outfit is an example of monochrome gone wrong. The problem with it is that there's no definition. This is a rectangle. So we've talked about judiciously placing your horizontal lines. We talked about getting rid of them altogether. And another trick is to actually add vertical lines. That's a godsend for short people. The way to create those vertical lines is to wear an outer garment that's contrasting to what you have underneath. And then what you have underneath has to be one piece or perfectly monochromatic. And this will work whether your outer layer is cropped or long. Next, we want to talk about footwear. Footwear is really important. It will make or break your outfits. I have made videos about my shoes. I think I have 3 by now, but I have one where I'm talking about my summer shoes, and I have another one where I'm talking about some winter staples. I'm linking them in the description below, and it is quite possible that they would be popping up on the screen somewhere. The strategy for longer legs is actually the same as to make longer people. So what we talked about for the clothing also applies to the footwear. You don't want to create horizontal lines in the wrong places. One famous example is thick contrasting ankle straps. If you really want to elongate the leg, you want to have the foot be part of the leg. So any shoe that has a low profile or a low vamp will work better. And then of course, the monochromatic look also works. So if it's summertime, go nude. And if it's wintertime, match your leg wear to your footwear. And there's one more thing about shoes that I personally have to add. And that is, I have delicate ankles. My legs are not terribly thick. So I can't do chunky. Chunky just simply creates an imbalance. And then I also like to wear heels. That helps elongate the legs, but I don't believe it's necessary, nor is it for everyone. Two more for the road in this first video. One is the pop of color. That's really effective at creating fun and interesting outfits. I only have 3 to show because I'm not a color person. That's something I really need to work on. And finally, I wanted to show some outfits that feature my outerwear. I live somewhere where for much of the year, I have to use outerwear. So outerwear is very much a part of my outfit. When I'm thinking about what to wear, I coordinate everything. I have to think about how my outerwear is going to fit over what I have underneath, style-wise, lengthwise. I wear a lot of skirts and it's awkward when they stick out from coats too much. We talked about horizontal lines. Your outerwear can create horizontal lines where they're not desirable. And where I live, it's often cold, so I'm buttoning up my outerwear. To keep outerwear manageable, both in terms of planning, it can get really complicated. And also coats are expensive. I just have a couple key coats that are a function of how cold it is. I have my late spring / early fall outerwear, my early spring / late fall outerwear, and then my winter coats. My winter wool coats, both hooded. And then I have a fur coat that I got from my mom that is good for when it's very, very cold. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and don't miss the second one in the series for more outfits.